And we're back. Back with another video. And what prompted this one was some of you might have seen that I co-casted with Heos yesterday, the 4v4, a match in the 4v4 Cup between Impact and Fiskus, which, Fiskus completely destroyed them. Impact, they started out with this map. Impact started out on the mech side here. And they got completely shut down. So, in this video, I will sort of give my take on how to crack the Sharqi initial on mech. Because there are things you can do that will sort of give you a chance to get out. Getting in lockdown on this, we've all been there. Getting in lockdown on as mech on Sharqi is a rough spot to be in, especially when you're playing an uphill battle, like literally, as well as otherwise against a better team like yesterday when Impact played Fiskus. But I still feel that Impact was unnecessarily ineffective. At sort of cracking the Fiskus defensive line up on the wall there. So I know it's a rough spot to be in. I've been locked down on this map by Fiskus myself. I know it can overwhelm you because they have some really strong players, and you really have to be on top of your game if you're gonna sort of cap them on this map. But the good news is that there are things you can do. So just a little, just to sort of talk a little bit about the basics here. Obviously, you're fighting an uphill battle, like literally. But the good news is that the consequence of fighting an uphill battle like this on the wall is that you're constantly shooting at sort of headshot angles, because when the players are up here you can at most you can see the top part of their sort of like their head and shoulders, and the top part of their torso, but sometimes just their head. So it sort of forces you to take harder shots. Now the good news here is that you have an AK. You're actually starting out with the AK. Now I don't like to emphasize the AK, the superiority of the AK, because I don't really believe in a lot of situations. This is one of the exceptions. When you're actually shooting at headshot angles, that's where the AK is clearly superior, because it headshots in one bullet. I watched a part of Scott's stream yesterday after the match, and he did get some nice headshots on people on top of the wall here. So you kind of have that going for you, but it's still rough. Especially like against a team like Fiskus, when they wipe you the first time and they all get their own AKs. It's most players are more comfortable with the AK. So, and you also have a problem with cover, because they have cover on top of the wall there, and the best way to sort of get your own cover as mech is to get close to the wall. But if you saw the match yesterday, you'll know that Fiskus pretty quickly pushed down into the garden area and behind her. So the best thing you can do as mech on Sharqi is to get out quick, because it does not get any easier as time goes by. Because they will sort of push down to the corner there by the pool. They will have people on top of every wall here and sometimes down here. So to crack it quick is the easiest way to get out. But it's still hard. It can still be hard to crack it. Now, whereas I think most players will sort of agree that shooting upwards, fighting upwards is a disadvantage as far as you're sort of using your guns. Like it's easier to sort of fight someone downhill, but on the plus side, it's a lot easier to nade upwards than to nade downwards. Like especially like considering, let's say there was a guy behind cover there. I do not know. I mean, from this position, I cannot nade him. It's pretty much impossible. But someone behind cover on that wall, easy. Because he's above me. And that means that, this goes back to what I talked about in my nade video, which I will link in the description below, where I talked about the technique called the high nade. So the high nade implies, as the name implies, you're nading high. And you're usually going prone and then nading high. So instead of a flat trajectory, it will have a high trajectory. It will go straight up and land down. Because I noticed on Skaz's stream yesterday that he was around this position and he naded, but he naded way too flat. These nades land far behind where the person is. I'm just gonna spawn support here. Obviously not allowed in 4v4, but I need more nades. And in 5v5 you can actually, as I mentioned on the stream yesterday, you can do so much damage with the support kit. You know, you can hide here where they can't really shoot you, and you can nade and make it, depending on how high you throw it, you can actually nade right behind the wall there. And that's the thing about these. Oh, that was a little bit too high. But that's the thing about the high nade, nading upwards, is that like if you're nading on a flat surface with the high nade, you can't really nade that high if you're gonna make it land all the way down. But so I naded about like this maybe. But when you're nading upwards, you can nade higher, because that nade would have exploded like high up in the air if I was nading on a flat terrain. But since this is an elevated position I'm nading, I can nade way higher and get away with it. And that nade would land straight in the head of someone standing on that corner. So that's the one thing you have going for you. Or not the one thing. Obviously you have an AK as well. You can headshot people on top of the wall, but that's like the main threat. Because the US team they have to push down to this wall. Someone has to just go here to see if they're coming up the stairs there, to sort of combat them coming up on the ramp here, and sort of cover this stair area in case of a backstab. So they have to go here. They will go here. So as mech, when you're starting out, you try to spot them, and when you see that they're in the position, this little plant here is a good marker. You nade them. You nade them out. And you keep nading until their body is dead, or you kill the reviver. And once you have cracked, like once you've made one crack in the line, because this is also one of the reasons why this is easier in the initial. Because in the initial, some of the US guys will probably, at least one, or maybe two if you're lucky, will go to that ramp to check. So if they see that the main person, like everyone is coming up this ramp, they will obviously rotate over here. But in the initial, you will probably like have maximum 3 or possibly even just 2 guys covering here. So to get, like, if you get them both by nades, then you've cracked open the one side here. And this is a really good spot to nade from. Oh, I missed one. Now, obviously, in a 4v4, you only have the 4 nades. If this was a 5v5, you could spawn support. It's totally viable. And this this cover right here is also interesting because it's pretty much impossible. And it's not impossible, but it's very, very hard for them to nade you here. They might tube you if this is a 5v5, if they get a little bit lucky. But you actually have cover here from their bullets. So you can nade that corner over there. You can pretty much carpet bomb that whole area from this position. And if people are there, they will die. Most likely. So on initial, if you're gonna crack this on the first go in initial, you need to have your nades connect. Because, as I said, I noticed yesterday that nades were thrown at a much too flat trajectory. Meaning that they don't land close to the wall. Or close enough to do damage. So, the high nade, you see how high I can nade? Like if I was nading... Oh shit. If I was nading this high... Well, that might have been... that was a stretch. But I was nading this high on flat terrain. Okay, that wasn't too bad. But if I was nading equally high on flat terrain, it would explode in the air. But up there, it hits them straight in the head. And you can do it close to the wall here. You can rotate back and forth, nade really high. Oh, that was too high. Obviously, it's not an exact science. You just have to, or what I do is that I usually sort of feel it out. Which, obviously, when you only have 4 nades, if you're a medic, if you miss your mark on the first few nades, you might have missed your chance. But, I mean, these nades will sort of, let me see if there are any marks here. Okay, no. But they will land. If you throw them correctly, they will land on... They will not hit the grass here. They will literally land here and detonate. Or detonate like on this spot, like in the air somewhere. Sort of spreading the damage all throughout this area right here. Killing anyone who stands here and shoots. And as you can see, if they're gonna nade you back... behind this, it's really hard. Like you would have to get, I mean, you would have to do some kind of bounce on that bench or something, unless you're sort of throwing a perfect, like, it's really hard to nade behind there from an elevated position. And pretty much on this whole level right here, you can nade. This is also a really good spot. You don't have to prone to nade here, but like you can nade perfectly up there. Oh, that one might well, that landed outside, but you get what I mean. Come on. I get the bug sometimes when the animation doesn't show. Okay, I have to throw a little bit further here, so this is definitely more of a crouch nade to make it land in the corner. So I haven't really practiced before I started the video, but I know it's possible. So you see there, that's a perfect one. And sort of, you can make it land in the stairs as well. And on top of the stairs. Let's see. Yeah, perfect. Like, if just one guy makes it to here, let's say one guy makes it here, and the rest of his team is like being pinned down on that stair. He can literally wipe them from here, like just using 4 nades. He can completely crush them, and you get those few frags. Your rest of your team can push up. You can push up the stair here and start to combat the people coming to help. So if you make, like, you just need to, you get those 2 frags or something. Like, even just getting 1 frag might be enough to sort of make it up here. But you get 2 frags, and then you cracked it. Like, you can actually make your way in here by that point. And obviously, like, if you're playing a 4v4, you can team kill revive for more nades. Because once you get, like, on the first run, when Impact, yesterday in the match, when Impact actually made it here, Pleda was standing on top of that building, getting spawns. Now, I don't know if Impact actually knew he was there or spotted him. But again, shooting someone up there, pretty much, like, unless Pleda does something really stupid, you're not going to be able to shoot him up there. But the high nade, oh boy. The high nade is, you can kill anything up there. Like, it's so easy. And so team kill reviving, at least in the 4v4. In 5v5, you can literally spawn support. In 4v4, team kill revive for nades, because that's the most, like, as I emphasized in my nade video, I really think the nade is the most powerful weapon in this game. At least for infantry, and doubly so when you're fighting upwards. You know, if you're up here on this hill right here, or on this ramp, you can do the same thing. You can stand behind this wall and nade the guy who's up there. And you can do it from here. Okay, I hit the tree. But the trajectory should still be, yeah, perfect. You can hide behind the railing here, so he can't headshot you as easily. Like, and if you make it here and there are people over there, yeah, guess what? Bang! Like, trying to shoot your way up here is rough. Because they have, it's like, even though the AK is better at shooting at headshot angles, it's still a disadvantage to shoot at headshot angles. Because it's a harder shot. It's a harder shot to hit the head than to hit the torso. So it's more about precision and not so much about just like regging someone. It's more about like precision shots at that point. And that is harder to do. So, you know, the guys defending here have a clear advantage when it comes to like rifle battles. But as I said, they have a clear disadvantage when it comes to nading. They cannot utilize their nades until you actually get up there. Like as far when you are actually way below them like this, this ramp is a little bit different because you can actually, it's sort of an even drop here, but when you're actually here and you have to be, if you're on the top side and you're gonna nade downwards, you actually need to be further away. You can still do the high nade, but you have to be further away. So you see it right here. You can actually nade down there if you're further away. But as far as standing here or over there in that corner, nading down there, it's hard. And especially like on the main initial, the mech guys will usually be here before you reach that corner. So they will already be ready to nade you as you get there. And you see, this nade is like you will, it's so likely that you will get a frag. If you push up the ramp, and actually like yesterday, Impact got a good spawn. They got a building spawn. And they actually ran up here. And they got naded. They didn't get the nade kills, but they got naded themselves. But if you, because here's the thing, the US guy will have to go up to the edge of the wall and have a look before he nades you. Well, not necessarily, but he will like, oh man, my cat is is really complaining about wintertime now. Oh, please. So they will have to sort of get... they will go to that corner. And if you are here before them, you're ready for them. Like, bang, they're dead. And then you can actually cross the street here and get up to where you want to be. Like, right here. And you get those frags, and then you're through. Like, you get that one nade frag, and you move up to this position right here to sort of prevent any help from reviving or... And the best thing is actually if one guy sort of stands there ready to nade as the others are sort of aggroing, because he can really like carpet bomb this whole area to sort of prevent any US guy from sort of standing here shooting people as they sort of jump over the wall here, or but like the US guys really have to make you come to them before they can sort of utilize their nades as effectively. Like, this is my main spot for nading as US, which I'm gonna show you here. Let me see. It pretty much lands. Let me see. Okay, that one wasn't correct. But you can sort of nade the whole ramp area from this position. Like, it's such... Like, this is where the US guys can sort of start using their nades as effectively as once you reach this sort of top level. But I still maintain that up until that point, the mech guys have a huge advantage as far as nades go. Now, there is one thing. Once you get down into lockdown and the US guys sort of push up to that corner, it's a complete nightmare. Because, and this is one of the roughest spots to be in the whole game. Because not only does he have a headshot angle if he wants to, he can actually peek on the side of the wall and shoot. Like, it's this position right here. It might be one, like, for people who are really good at this position, like some of the Fiskus players, this is one of the best positions in the whole game. And you literally spawn down here at their mercy. Now, if you can make it to this wall, which probably not, if that is Trixie up there, the only thing that you really can do, if you spawn here and you're really quick, get into the pool. Because not only can you hide from the guy, you actually have an equal angle. Like, if he pushes down there, he loses some of his advantage, and you actually now have the advantage because you can peek behind cover and he cannot. So he will probably not pursue you down there, but guess what? Now you have an even higher altitude difference. Now you can nade him. Because you can pretty much nade straight. Oh, that was too hot. Oh no, it was perfect. Like, because you are at such an extreme altitude difference now, you can pretty much nade straight up and hit him in the head. So that's, I think that's the best scenario. Like, if you spawn here and Fiskus Factory is raping you from that corner, you like, the best move is to take refuge in the pool. I really think that. Take refuge in the pool, wait for backup, and use your nades. Like, that is one thing you can do. Another thing that can be done is that because you have an AK, you can actually sort of go up here and you can start sniping people who are up on the wall here. Try to get a headshot. Put some pressure on them so they feel uncomfortable sticking their head out. That can also be done. And the cool thing about this position, it is a little bit difficult. You actually risk falling down, but you can actually nade that corner. Let me see if I can make it work. Yes. You can nade that corner, but you sort of have to go very, very far, almost over the edge here. But you can make the nade land perfectly on that corner. So to sort of have a guy sort of push up on this roof and start sniping someone, and like, let's say you get the frag up there and they're going for the revive, it is actually possible to do something similar to this, like to sort of get the nade on them as you're jumping down and try to sort of close the distance. Yeah, as I said, it is. I really feel they. I mean, Impact. Yes, they were getting outclassed by Fiscus, so they would have lost either way. But they could have had much more success going towards Consite just by using their nades effectively. So, because the general rule, as I have mentioned in previous videos, shooting downwards and especially tubing downwards, huge advantage. Nading downwards, that's the opposite, disadvantage. Nading upwards, advantage. So in this map you are forced to fight upwards, so you have to use the advantage you have. Nade upwards. Make the nades count. If you connect your nades, you will get past. Like, it doesn't matter who's up there. If it's Trixie, if it's Pledarus, Malkin, like, everyone will die if they get a nade in their head. So if you connect with your nades, you will get past. So that's about it. Later.